Okay. Oh, all right. Well, I'll make sure we get those. All right, everyone. Welcome to the 187 District Court. These are the rules of the 187 District Court. To all the inmates, you're not allowed to use the chat box. If you use the chat box, you will be sent back to your cell. You are not allowed to use the chat box to pick up dates. If you try to pick up dates while you're on this Zoom screen, you will be sent back to your cell. You are in the 187 District Court, so that means that everyone should behave professionally. If you do not behave professionally, you will be forced to appear in court in person. What do I mean by behaving professionally? Whatever you could not do if you were in the 187 District Court, you cannot do on this Zoom screen. We do have a jury trial that is starting at 10 a.m. So anything that is not completed before 10 a.m., you will have to come back at 1:30. I'm going to open up the breakout rooms. When I open up the breakout rooms, you will be asked to enter a breakout room. Do not go to a breakout room unless I specifically call you by name and assign you to a breakout room. To all of those who are accused or charged with an offense, your attorney's name will be called, your name will not be called. If you do not hear your attorney's name, it is because your attorney is Zooming in another courtroom. Rest assured, you will get a chance to speak with your attorney. If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, for all the attorneys, please put that agreement in the chat box, no matter how small, to Norma Ferguson. She is listed as Ferguson Coordinator. If your client is on bond, you will need to put in the chat box your client's email address as well. I am the only person who can excuse you and your client. So please do not bombard Norma with chat messages asking if you can be excused, or emailing her or texting her. This is the order in which attorneys will appear: Natasha Torres, Joanne De Hoyos, Ed Bartholome, Sonny Middleton, Scott McCrom, Carlos Martinez, Tim Molina, Keith Engel, Key, Amir Mori, and Raphael Leal. Is there any attorney's name that I have missed? All right, Natasha Torres, who do you have?
Good morning, Your Honor. I have Mr. Carlos Martinez, who is present on the Zoom.
All right, and everyone, if you can let me know your client's name and whether or not they're criminal trial division or family violence.
This will be criminal trial division, but I believe there is a special prosecutor because it's a public integrity and cyber crimes unit.
All right, could someone from the DA's office please contact the special prosecutor for this cause? Just give us a moment. Joanne De Hoyos, you're muted.
You'd think I'd know by now, Your Honor. I apologize. That's George Kelly, Your Honor. He was recalled from last week. He was supposed to hire an attorney. You were just checking on that status.
All right, just give me a moment. George Kelly, are you here? George Kelly.
He's in custody, Your Honor.
All right, I'm trying to see if he's on screen.
Last week we had trouble with the jail computer, so hopefully that didn't happen again.
Well, you know, it is Monday.
Yeah.
And if you say that 3 times, it will happen.
Okay, I won't say it again.
So we're waiting for him to zoom in. Just give me a second.
No problem. Yeah.
All right, Ed Bartholome.
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Helper, Your Honor, he's in custody.
What's the first name?
Michael Helper.
And is it criminal trial division or family violence?
That I can't tell you, Your Honor, because I haven't got any discovery in that case either way.
It's CTD and it's a
Motion to revoke.
FTR.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll send you to breakout room number 2.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning.
Welcome.
Morning, Scott.
Good morning, Ed.
Sonny Middleton.
Yes, Your Honor, I have Jose Inostroza. It's a family violence case and he's an inmate.
Could you spell the last name for me, please?
Yes, ma'am. Inostroza.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 3.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Hunter, have you been made a co-host?
Judge, it does not appear I have.
All right, let me see if I can do that now.
Hope your dear mother's watching, Judge. I wore this purple tie just for her.
Okay, I will let her know. Mom, Hunter has on the purple bow tie for you. Okay, that's number 3. Scott McCrum.
Good morning, Judge. I have Zachary Prince. It's a family violence case. If possible, I'd like to have a breakout with my client, Mr. Prince, first, and then I would like to confer.
All right, is your client in custody or on bond?
He's on bond, and I believe I saw his name, but no video.
All right, let me see if I can find him. Yes, I'll send you to breakout room number 4.
Thank you.
And Mr. Prince, if you could go to breakout room number 4, please. Carlos Martinez. Carlos Martinez. Carlos Martinez going once. Carlos Martinez going twice. Carlos Martinez. All right, Tim Molina.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. Who do you have?
I have Jose Garcia. It's a trial division MTR and then new number 1 ag assault trial division, and I'd like to confer.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 5.
Thank you.
And for everyone, when we start up trial, I will send you all to a separate breakout room. So a prosecutor will be able to assign you to different rooms from there. So you will still be able to confer during the trial.
Judge, can I be made a co-host as well, please?
Thank you. All right, Keith Engelkey.
I have Alan Nathaniel Garza.
All right, just give me one moment. Is it criminal trial division or family violence?
I can't tell you that, Your Honor. I know I need to speak with a state about an offer.
Okay, I didn't hear a word you said. I'm getting a lot of feedback from your end.
Okay, is that better?
Yes, if you could turn the sound down a little bit.
Okay, I need to speak with the state about an offer.
All right, so is it family violence or criminal trial division?
I can't tell you that because I haven't received any, I can't find my appointment.
All right, let me see if I can find him on the system. Brenda, do you see him anywhere? All right, thank you. All right, it's criminal trial division.
Okay,
I'm going to send you to breakout room number 6.
thank you.
Amir.
Yes, Judge, I have Damian Estrada. It's a CTD. It's an MTR. He's in custody. I've spoken with him, and we are going to follow the recommendation, Judge.
All right, so if you will get just 1 second, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 7 with your client. Is your client in custody?
He is, Your Honor, and I've talked to him and gone over the MTR with him, so we're good to go. If we can just get the waiver and video waiver.
All right. Let me find your client. There he is. All right, we'll get those documents to you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Your Honor, this is Sunny.
Just one moment, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. I've spoken with the ADA. We will have a plea bargain. He has to get the paperwork ready. He asked me to let Norma also know because we do have an MTR. And he is an inmate. So if I know you have to start at 10. If we can come back at 1:30, we can get it done then.
Well, if you can start the paperwork, I'll send you to a breakout room with your client, and so we can have the paperwork completed.
That'd be great.
All right, just give me one moment. All right, I'm sending you to breakout room. You were in number 3. If you'll go back to 3, and you say
Yes,
your
ma'am.
client is in custody.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Ennis Sostra, if you could go to breakout room number 3, please. Rafael Leal.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, who do you have?
Vela. Victor Manuel Vela,
Criminal Trial Division or Family Violence?
family violence.
I'll send you to breakout room number 7.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Just give me one moment. I'm sorry, number 8.
8.
Paul Perez.
I'm here, Your Honor. Good morning. How are you? I'm here
Good morning.
for Vanessa Garza. There's some co-defendants in this case, Judge.
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm here on that case as well.
And we're here only for a compliance hearing regarding some electronic discovery that the state was to provide us by today. And at least for me, they have, Your Honor. That's my,
All right, so who are the co-defendants? So we have Vanessa Garza for you. Who is the other attorney?
Robert Garcia, Daniel De La Garza is the attorney. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
And
And
Natasha
who's the-
Torres on behalf. Oh, I
Who's the
apologize.
prosecutor you were dealing with?
Don McGraw.
All right, let's see if we can get her here. And Natasha Torres, you say you're on that case as well?
Yes, Your Honor. And I actually spoke with the prosecutor. I believe Ms. McCraw is no longer on. It's going to be Ms. Altis from the email I received on Friday.
All right, let me send in the evite. And you say it's Elena Altis?
Yes.
And Your Honor, we're here for discovery compliance, and we've received electronic discovery, and I believe that the state's in compliance with the discovery.
All right, Hope Pettis, have you received all the discovery?
the one that the state represented, it was on an electronic, yes, Your Honor. I picked it up at the DA's office.
All right, just give me one moment. All right, so that's for Vanessa Garza, Carlos Martinez, and Robert Garcia, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So I'm going to put you all on the calendar. For July 12th.
Judge,
Yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't know if I was muted. Judge, on July the 12th, I start capital murder death penalty case in the 379th State of Texas versus Otis McCain, Judge.
And Your Honor, and I'm a co-counsel on that case as well with Mr. Pettis.
All right, so what I'm going to do then is I'm going to put you all for July 8th. And let me just tell you what will happen on that date. On that date, you'll receive an offer from the state for all of your clients. And then I will give you a reset. And then that next reset will be your plea deadline date. So on the 8th, you just have to come in. If you get an offer before then, let the court know, and we'll go from there. So I'll reset you for July 8th, and I'll show that all discovery has been tendered.
And so therefore, after the 8th, we get one more setting, which would be the plea deadline.
Yes.
And then jury or pretrial hearings after that, right?
Then after that, well, what will happen? You'll either accept a plea offer. Your client can accept the plea. If your client does not wish to accept the plea, then it will be on the jury docket. And after that plea deadline date, the court will not accept any pleas unless it is a plea that is open to the court.
Okay, Judge, but just in case, and I'm not saying this will happen, but if I do have pretrial motions, of course, I'll file them 7 days prior to any day, but you'd give us a pretrial hearing date?
Yes, here's the thing. In this court, we did set motions, and everyone said that we were setting our motions too fast, and that was coming from defense counsel. So if you have a pretrial hearing that needs to be heard, just contact the coordinator and we will put it on the docket.
Sure thing, Your Honor. I appreciate it.
All right, you're welcome. So I'm noting that all the discovery has been received by all parties, and this will be called for July 8th. And at that time, the state will make an offer.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, if you all have nothing else with us, then you're excused.
Thank you, Judge. Matt.
Thank you,
Oh,
Honor.
well, I was going to ask, may I be excused?
Yes, you all may be excused. Have a great rest of your Monday.
Yes,
Thank
Your
you.
Honor. You too. Take care.
All right,
Bye.
thanks. Bye-bye.
Robert, you can log off.
All right, everyone, just give me a moment, please. All right, the next person up is Luis Martinez. Luis Martinez.
Judge, I'm here.
Yes, who do you have?
Judge, I have Ray Wheeler and then I have Michael Hepler. They're both with CTD.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 9.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
And Your Honor, could I go to the,
All right, Joseph Stateson.
Your Honor, he was here for me, just in case I had to log into something else, but I'm still here waiting on.
All right, just give me one moment then.
Okay.
And your client is George Kelly. Let me see if.
Yes,
Mr.
he's
Kelly
in
is
custody.
on.
It was just to receive. He hired an attorney. We looked online. We didn't see anything.
All right, Norma, could you see where Mr. Kelly is? He's not on the screen.
Yes, ma'am. And something's wrong with my audio, Judge. Something's wrong with my computer, so.
All right, as soon as we get your him on screen, Mr. Hoyas will take you up.
Thank you, Your
Ed
Honor.
Bartholomew, you're welcome. Ed
Yes, ma'am.
Bartholomew.
yes, Your Honor, could I go into a breakout room with my client to discuss the state's offer, please?
All right,
That would be Mr. Helper.
just one moment. All right, Mr. Helper, if you'll go to breakout room number 2, and Ed, if you could go back to 2, please.
Thank you, Your Honor, appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And Judge Scott McCrum, can I have a family justice DA breakout, please?
All right, so have they talked to you yet?
To me, no.
Okay, if you'll go back to breakout room number 4, and Joe Ray Garcia, if you could go to breakout room number 4, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Judge, I'm sorry. What was that?
If you could go to breakout room number 4 to speak with Scott McCrum, please.
Yes.
Thank you.
Judge, this is Amir. Do you have a CTD prosecutor I could talk to, please?
Yes, if you go to, let me see.
Yes, sir.
All right, if you'll go back to breakout room number 7, a prosecutor will be.
I failed, Judge,
Sonny, you're back.
I'm back, Your Honor, only because I don't have any paperwork yet. I was going to make sure the ADA knew that we were gonna get the paperwork done and do this now, instead of him thinking he had till, this afternoon to get it done.
All right, State, if you can get the paperwork to Miss Milton,
I don't know.
please.
I
And everyone, Mr. Estrada, stop hitting your microphone. Please stay muted because we're getting feedback from your end.
I'm going back to room 3, Your Honor.
All right, and Sonny, before you go to room 3, can you put in the chat box to Norma Ferguson what your agreement is?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Judge, I send you a chat.
Well, everybody's chatting today. I appreciate everyone using their chat box. Joanne De Hoyos.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Kelly was accidentally left off the jail list and they're unable to bring him over. Are you able to return tomorrow? And I do believe
tomorrow, I really have, I don't know if you remember those days with CPS, but we're getting ready for a huge case.
No, I remember those days.
Where you never know where you're supposed to be. This happens to be Judge Abascal's court. Oh, well, maybe, Your Honor, can we do Wednesday? Is that possible?
Yes, that's possible.
Okay, great. Thank you. I should be
All
everything
right, we'll
okay
put
by
you
tomorrow.
down for Wednesday. I'm sorry that it's happening.
That's no problem. No problem. Well, hopefully he'll hire an attorney by then. Maybe it's a blessing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor,
Bye-bye.
a breakout room, you and I, apparently he's hired another lawyer.
Well, just one moment. We'll see if he has an attorney.
All right.
All right, Ed, your client is Mr. Zachary Prince.
No, that's mine, Judge Scott.
Okay, Michael Helper.
Yes, ma'am.
Robert, can you check to see if Michael Helper has hired another attorney, please?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Kimber Ward, who do you have?
I have Mr. Jones. I'm actually supposed to be there in person to go over videos with him, but I just got out of child support court, so I wanted to let the court know that I was going to head there now, but I didn't want to leave you without knowing where I was.
Okay, we will see you then.
Okay, great. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, anyone else back from the break? I'm sorry, Frankie Sandoval.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Who do you have?
We have Mr. Freeman, who is online. Whenever the opportunity permits itself, Judge, if I could confirm with the District Attorney's Office the current offer.
All right, it is criminal trial division or family violence?
I believe it's family violence, Your Honor.
Okay.
And I'll confirm that.
I'll send you to breakout room number 10.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Judge, I sent you the chat.
Judge Scott McCrum, ready to announce whenever you are.
Yes,
You are ready?
yes.
On Mr. Prince, Zachary Prince, I talked briefly with Joe Ray, but it's David Martin's case. And I was just recently appointed, I think like 2 weeks ago. So if you can give me another setting to go over the evidence and to get with David, please.
All right, and have you been able to get in contact with your client? Has that been a problem at all?
No, and he's on right now, in fact.
All right, I will recall it for July 6th.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, you and your client are excused.
Thank you.
And anyone else ready? Okay, Ed Bartholomew?
Yes, ma'am.
My understanding is that Luis Martinez has been hired, but you're still listed on his night bag case. So you're still his attorney on one of the
All right.
cases.
All right. He was
And-
under the impression that we were on both. So Lewis is here today. So I guess if it's possible, he and I could talk a bit and see where we're at. Because on his case is the one they made the offer, Judge.
All right, just one moment.
Thank you.
All right, he is in breakout room number 9. I'm going to send you to 9. Could you please let him know what is going on?
I appreciate it, Your Honor. Thank you for your help.
You're welcome. All right, anyone else ready?
Your Honor, good morning. Frankie Sandoval once again. I was being sent to number 10, but I seem to have lost the invitation. I apologize, Judge.
All right, no problem. Let me find you. All right, just sent you there.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Anyone else back from the breakout room? All right, and Jensen Rivera, where are you?
I'm right here, ma'am.
All right, you're here for a compliance hearing. Just give me a moment.
Yes, ma'am. Turn it down.
All right. Mr. Rivera, are you looking at the screen, what I'm looking at?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, it shows that you continue to test positive for marijuana. Do you understand what your range of punishment is on this case?
Yes, ma'am.
What is your range of punishment? How much time are you looking at if you're revoked, Mr. Rivera?
5 years, ma'am.
No, you're not. You're looking at life in prison. So the question becomes whether or not smoking marijuana, because it's illegal here in Texas. The question becomes whether or not you want to smoke marijuana and potentially go to prison for life. What is your answer? Because what I'm seeing on this screen is that you continue to use marijuana, you admit to using marijuana, and you won't stop using marijuana.
I will stop using, ma'am.
And then they're saying you say you have a sleep disorder, but you haven't provided them with any proof. So again, we go back to whether or not you want to go to prison over marijuana.
No, ma'am.
So if you're tested today, what are the results going to be?
I'm gonna be dirty.
When's the last time you used?
Last week.
All right, so it seems as though you are angling to go to prison. So here's the thing, you are going to stop using marijuana. If you don't stop using marijuana, what's going to happen is you and I will not be having this conversation the way we're having it now. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me explain to you what happens when a motion to revoke is filed. I receive it, I read it, I see if everything is in order, I sign it, a warrant is issued for your arrest, you're picked up, you're taken to the Bexar County Jail, you have to make a bond. Either you're going to make your bond or you're not going to make your bond. If you don't make your bond, we'll be hearing your case from the Bexar County Jail.
Yes, ma'am.
And maybe you will end up going to prison, maybe not. Maybe the state will be able to prove the allegations, maybe they won't. But your smoking marijuana could potentially result in you going to prison for life. Do you really want to go to prison? And when people ask you why you're here, your answer is because I was smoking marijuana.
No, ma'am.
Do you want to go to the Bexar County Jail? And they will ask you why you are here. And your answer will be because I was smoking marijuana.
No, ma'am, I don't want to go.
I don't write the laws of the state of Texas, but what I can tell you is in the state of Texas, marijuana is illegal. You're not allowed to smoke it. And you're definitely not allowed to smoke it while you're on probation. And you're not allowed to drink alcohol while you're on probation either.
Yes, ma'am.
So, Rebecca, this is what we're going to do with Mr. Rivera. We're going to test him for levels. Those levels should start going down. If they do not go down, if those levels start rising, file a motion to revoke, and I will review it. And if it's in proper order, I will sign it. And in the meantime, put him in outpatient treatment. Yes, ma'am. Do you have any other questions, Mr. Rivera?
No, ma'am.
Don't come back here again for marijuana use, you understand?
I understand.
And do you have any children?
Yes, ma'am. One in a daughter in Connecticut.
All right. I'm going to send you to a breakout room with probation.
Yes, ma'am.
If you will wait in breakout room number 1 for me, please.
And Your Honor, at your convenience.
Just give me a moment. And Rebecca, who's the other guy you have? Yes.
They're having issues with the jail with their means.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks. It's a Monday. Okay. Ed Bartholomew, yes.
Yes, I've conferred with Lewis, Your Honor, and he's confirmed he's been hired on both cases on Friday. So I'm respectively asking to withdraw, Your Honor, and he'll assume responsibility.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Bartholomew. Have a great rest of your Monday.
I got more to go. Thanks, Judge.
All right. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Keith Engelke.
So, I was speaking with Meredith and,
Okay, you're very loud. Could you just lower your voice a little bit? Thank you.
okay, is this better?
Yes.
Okay. I was speaking with Meredith. This is my first appearance. The previous attorney on my client's case has withdrawn. and I'd like to speak with my client. His name is Adam Nathaniel Garza. It's a criminal case.
All right, is your client on bond or in custody?
He's in custody, but
Your Honor, he's in a breakout room. I tried to get Keith to go in there, but
I think you sent me into the wrong client. I'm not sure, but it's Adam Nathaniel Garza. And this other gentleman that I saw has a 185th in front of his name instead of 187th. But
All
I'm
right.
seeing another.
Now, did you speak to him and ask him if he was Nathaniel Garza or no?
I wasn't able to speak with him. I tried to, but he wouldn't unmute himself.
All right, I'm gonna go to breakout room number 11. Everyone, I'll be back.
Okay.
Yes, I will. Just give me one moment. Where are these people? Oh, I need to fix my hair, people. It's like all. Okay. Mr. Engelkey, we will get you there shortly. Norma, we're looking for Nathaniel Garza, please.
yes, ma'am. Give me 1 second.
Raphael Leal.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, what is happening with your client, Victor Vela?
I don't know. No one shown up yet, Your Honor, at the breakout room. Hey,
Okay, here's the thing. If you leave breakout rooms, the prosecutors will see that the breakout room is empty and they're not going to go there. So everyone put some patience in your pocket and wait in the breakout room.
I can wait.
There is only one family violence prosecutor. He can't be everywhere at one time. So
Did not know that, Judge.
yeah, if you'll go back to breakout room number 8, Joe Ray will meet you there when he is free.
All right. Send me there.
Thank you. Frankie Sandoval?
Yes, Judge.
Yes.
Can you go
Yeah.
back to room 10, Frankie? Because you left.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
That's okay.
no.
Thank you.
You know, I had left to let the judge know I needed a different I apologize, Your
That's
Honor.
okay.
Okay, sorry, Meredith. Okay, I'll go back to 10. Your Honor, I'm sorry, may I have another invitation to 10?
Oh, it's there already. If
It's
you
still
go
there?
to your
Okay.
screen where it says breakout room and just click on there, you can always go
Okay.
back.
Okay, thank you. Thank you,
All right.
Judge.
Thank you. Oh, just 1 second. Marcus and John, can I see you all in the hallway briefly, please? Oh, Amy.
Willis. 16A screen. Who? H? A.
Norma, this is Luis Martinez.
Yes, sir.
I'm back from conferring with Hunter. I need to get in breakout rooms with both my clients.
Judge, will move you in just 1 minute. Give me 1 second.
To breakout room?
Yes, Judge, I'll need to meet with both my clients.
All right. So Luis Martinez, you're in breakout room number 9. Who would you like to see first, Mr. Wheeler or Mr. Hepler?
Mr. Hepler, please.
Mr. Hepler, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 9. Let me see where you are on the screen. All right, just 1 second. For some reason, I see you on the screen. I think you're already in a breakout room. There you are. If you go to number 9, please. Robert Leal, you're back.
Yes, Your Honor, I confer with Mr. Garcia, and he gave me an offer, and I need to.
All right, Mr. Vela, I'm going to send you to a breakout room with your attorney. Your attorney, Mr. Leal, if you can go back to breakout room number 8. And Mr. Vela, I'm going to send you to number 8. Luis Martinez, you're back.
Judge, I'm back. We've got Mr. Hepler's case resolved, and then I need to meet with Mr. Wheeler.
Who do you need to meet with next?
Mr. Wheeler?
All right, Mr. Wheeler, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 9. All right, Frankie Sandoval, you're back. He was here, but then he left. All right, Freddie, who are you here for? Freddie, who are you here for?
Allergies that's turned into a respiratory infection, but I think so. We live in the day of COVID, and he has a 6-year-old 5-year-old kid and a pregnant sister, so.
Brenna, it's a Monday today. I don't care what anybody else tell you, it's a Monday, but guess what? We're all gonna put a smile on our faces and we're gonna be happy about it.
Judge, is Freddie here for Carlos Martinez?
All right, Carlos Martinez.
How you doing, Judge?
Hello, who are you here for?
Apparently Carlos Martinez. I am filling in for Elena today.
Oh, this is what I'll let you know. On Robert Garcia, Carlos Martinez, and Vanessa Garza, they were actually here for discovery compliance. They say they've received all the discovery. The case is being reset for July 8th, and the state needs to be prepared to tender an offer at that time.
July 8th, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, and if you could make sure you're here early because, and when I say early, at 9, because Joel Perez and Daniel De La Garza are going to be starting up a capital murder the Monday of the following week. So I think they're going to want to get in and get out so they can concentrate on that.
Okay.
All right, thank you for popping in on a Monday.
Is that it? I thought there was going to be a lot more to this.
Got it. Oh, well, you know what? If you want to stay and help out.
You know, I would love to, but I'm glad I was able to get everyone their discovery. And I'll see y'all next time.
Okay, look at that. Passing the buck. All righty. We'll see you next time. Have a great Monday.
Y'all too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Luis Martinez.
Judge, I'm back. I've got Mr. Wheeler's case resolved as well.
Okay. So how are we resolving Wheeler and your other client and helper?
So Mr. Hepler is going to plead true to the MTR, and we're going to agree to reform the judgment down to 3 years, and they're going to TIC the new evading case.
All right, Norma, if you can get the paperwork to him on Hepler, he needs a consent to plea and trial court certification. And then your other client, Mr. Wheeler.
Wheeler's being offered 2 years, probated for 2 years, and he wants to take that deal today.
All right, and on Mr. Wheeler, we need a consent to plea and a trial court certification for him as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Lewis, you want to do number 41?
Sure.
Okay.
41, 42, 217s, 311s, it's all the same.
And everyone, we're waiting on 2 jurors.
This isn't my courtroom. Supreme High Chancellor Bailiff Norma. Your courtroom, not mine. Just living in it.
All right, everyone who has pleas, once we have the 2 jurors who are not here yet arrive, I'm going to send you all to a breakout room and you can get your paperwork done. And when we have a break, the court will take that up. Tim Molina on Jose Garcia.
Yes, Judge. There's I guess a few things going on. He has an MTR and a new number 1. And when we were on the docket a few weeks ago, Judge Herr had asked that a MIC evaluation try to be done, but it didn't get scheduled. I verified with probation that there is a MIC evaluation date. She said June 28th. On the new number 1, I had given an affidavit to the prosecutors and they're still working on trying to speak with the victim, but he has his own case. So they reached out this morning and left a voicemail with his attorney. So
just 1 second. What is the motion to revoke cause number? Because the court does not have that unless your client is under a different name.
It's not on the docket, Judge.
It's not on the physical docket, but it is on the computer showing today's setting. But let me find it.
All right, could somebody please give me both files on Mr. Jose Luis Garcia? And if we could, when someone has multiple cases, even if it's not set, if we could pull the files for all the cases, please. Thank you. So
Judge,
probation, do you have an
let me
idea when
check.
the MIC evaluation will happen?
Judge, let me check because when he said Jose, I was looking at the Jose that was on the docket.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you. Thank you, I appreciate it. Mr. Jose Luis Garcia, could you unmute for us, please?
You have to hold it down while you talk.
Okay. Yes,
All
ma'am.
right, Mr. Garcia, we're going to give you a reset date so that we can make sure that we have your, so that we can make sure that we have your MIC evaluation, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, just give us a moment.
Judge, he did have a MIC evaluation and they're recommending a Tacoma evaluation, which is set up the first week of July.
Okay. All right. What I'm being told, Mr. Molina, is that he has another evaluation that's scheduled the first week in July. They've already done a preliminary evaluation, so we just need that one.
Okay, good. And I apologize to the CLO that I didn't give him his full name. I thought we were talking about the same person, but I am glad that it got done. And I understand that the other one's necessary.
All right. So if we set this for July 9th, should we have it by then, Rebecca?
I believe so.
All right. We're going to recall your case for July 9th. And Mr. Garcia, at that time, the court will hopefully and should receive the MIC evaluation, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions?
I want to know what the MIC evaluation is.
Judge, I can speak with him in the breakout room.
All right, I'll send you to a breakout room with your attorney and he'll go over that with you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 5, Mr. Garcia.
And may we be excused from the breakout room?
No, you have to have your client come back in the main room and then we'll excuse him from here.
Okay.
All right, Keith Engelkey, you're back.
May I speak with Meredith, please?
Who would you want to speak to?
Meredith? Is McIntyre?
Yes, I can join the breakout room.
All right, sure. Meredith, your ears are very good. If somebody tells you differently, you tell them, no, Stephanie said my ears are good. All right, Mr. Engelkey, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 12.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Debnav and John Young, have you received this motion from the state to fingerprint your client?
I am just reading it right now.
Okay, all right.
Before we actually start, can I have a few minutes to make sure this is
Yes.
The defense has no objection to the motion.
Okay, just give me a moment and we'll put that on the record before the jury comes in. Just give me one moment. All right, and Marcus, if you want to try the equipment, you're more than welcome to do so. All right, thank you.
Louis, I sent you a chat.
There should be, there's a pad here. I think you have to use that. Did you? Oh, that's the one? All right, anyone who doesn't have your paperwork ready, you're gonna have to come back at 1:30. So is there any paperwork that's prepared?
Oh.
Information.
All right, Norma, can you let them know? Norma, can you let them know that Jose Garcia can go back? And Tim Molina, you're excused.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Pete, mute for me, please.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Diaz?
Yes. Hello, can you hear me?
If you can hear me, just give me a thumbs up, please. All right, Mr. Diaz, you're going to be coming back on July 8th.
Okay.
Give me a thumbs up if you understand. All right, thank you. We'll see you on July 8th. At that time, the state will tender an offer to you. You can either accept that offer or reject that offer. It's completely up to you. And at that date, I will also give you a plea deadline date so you have a chance to think over it, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thumbs up? All right, thank you. You're excused. State, are you ready? All right, thank you. Yes. All right, Norma, could you get the paperwork for Nathaniel Garza ready, please?
Yes, ma'am.
I like
I
that.
thought it was gonna be on Marcus's.
Mhm.
Okay, but can we do just a
All right, everyone. I'm going to send you to individual breakout rooms. Everyone, you'll have to come back at 1:30. So to all of the attorneys and the defendants who are being sent to individual breakout rooms, your attorney and the state's attorney will be able to meet you in those rooms. So Ms. Alvera, I'm sending you to lucky breakout room number 13. Let me just find out where you are. Jones, you're going to 14. Arevalo, you're going to 15. Elvera, 6. I'm sorry, Elvera, 13.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Christina Mendelona, 17. Servant, Norma, just have them call him back.
Yes, ma'am.
For 1:30 today. Let's see. Helper. I'm going to send you to 12. Wheeler. If you go back to breakout room number 9. Luis Martinez, I'm going to make you a co-host so you'll be able to move and speak with your clients if you have an updated system.
Okay, Judge.
If not, the prosecutors will move you.
Okay, I appreciate you trusting me with that kind of responsibility.
Dayla, you need to go back to your breakout room, which is number 8. Ingle Key. I'm sending you to breakout room number 16.
Yeah, we've just spoken and we have a deal. However, I
You need
need
to go back
another.
to your breakout room, please,
I'm sorry.
which is number 7.
Okay, I'll go back. 16.
Vela, look and go to the breakout room that I've assigned you to. If you click on the bottom where it says breakout rooms, you will go there. Mr. Vela, look at the bottom of your screen. Do you see where it says chat, breakout rooms? Click on breakout rooms. Okay. Mr. Estrada, go back to your breakout room, please. Estrada, go to the breakout room. Breakout room number 2. And all prosecutors, I'm just going to put you in breakout room number 1. And from there, you can move to other breakout rooms. I'm trying to clear the screen. So if you all could go to 1, please.
Judge, I send you a chat.
All right, are you guys ready to proceed? There is a discovery acknowledgement in the file. No, from October 17th. And it was signed by Michael Belichick and Tiffany Miller. I don't have any updated discovery.
And I thought I signed that on Friday after we picked the jury.
You didn't take it with you though?
No, I don't remember seeing it, but
And you all wanted to get something on the record before the jury comes in?
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Court is calling 2019 CR 6484, State of Texas versus Kevin Debnav Jr. If I can have parties announced for the record, please, for the state.
Marcus Sanders.
And Tom Nisbet.
For the defense.
John Young.
All right, are both parties ready?
State's
State,
ready.
defense.
Fence is ready.
All right, the court was in receipt of a motion today. It states motion to require defendant to be fingerprinted. Defense, have you received that motion?
I have, Your Honor. We have no objection.
All right, that will be granted. All right, state.
Judge, the state has another brief motion. It's just to abandon surplusage in the indictment. In the second line, final two words, the words appear "and recklessly." As the court is well aware, this is an aggravated assault by threat, not by contact. So you can't proceed recklessly. It has to be intentionally and or knowingly. So the state is waiving and abandoning the words "and."
And the
And-
cause, just one second, the cause number you're proceeding on is 6484, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, if I can get the clerks to give me the trial file, please. Because the court does not have that trial file in the courtroom.
Lupe.
Everyone, give me a moment. I'm going to go get the appropriate file. All right, we're back on the record. The court has the file now. And state, would you make your motion, please?
Yes, Judge. In indictment 19 CR 6484, the state is moving to abandon as surplusage two words at the end of the second line of the allegation. First word is "and," second word is "recklessly." The state is proceeding on the indictment as alleged, but just under the mental states intentionally and knowingly.
Defense?
You have no objection, Your Honor.
And so state, and you're adding the word "in" to,
I'm not adding it. I could just read it as is. I mean, an indictment is pled in the conjunctive and charged to the jury in the disjunctive. So the "and" "or" will end up in the jury charge either way.
okay. All right, the court will note that the state has removed the words "and" recklessly from the indictment without objection. Is there anything else from the state?
Just to approach the bench with the discovery acknowledgement.
Yes. Defense, have you received all the discovery in this case?
I believe we have, Your Honor. There was one disc that we received on Friday, but I was able to review that over the weekend.
The court then will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Are all parties ready to proceed and have the jury brought in?
State's ready.
Bench is ready, Your Honor.
All right. Deputy, if you could bring the jurors in, please. And I want to note for the record that this is an in-person jury trial. However, the court is following all of the COVID guidelines. Roland Garcia. Frankie Sandoval, could you go to breakout room number 1, please? The prosecutors will meet you there. We're starting a jury trial. So we will pick up your hearing at 1. jury. And everyone, if you'll note where there's a blue sticker on the chair, that means that that chair should be empty. I'm going to allow you all to socially distance a little bit. So don't sit in a chair that has a blue sticker on it.
There's one more chair towards the end. For that gentleman's spot, further. One more. Yeah. So please sit on the stickers.
Ah, so see, this is where communication is key. So the deputy said that everyone should sit on the chair that has the sticker.
Yes.
Sorry about that. So if you see a sticker on the chair, on the back of your chair, please sit in that chair.
Sticker up. Sit on the gallery, there are the chairs. There you go.
Yes. Any chair that has a blue sticker on it, please sit in that chair. Oh, jurors, please be seated. We're standing for you. All right, everyone, please be seated. All right, I hope everyone was able to find parking. My understanding is that parking was pretty hectic today. What's going to happen now is I'm going to swear you in. I know some of you, and well, all of you were sworn in downstairs, but this is a different type of swearing in. So if everyone could please raise your right hand for me, please. Do each of you solemnly swear or affirm in the case of the state of Texas versus Kevin Debnav, you will a true verdict render according to the law and the evidence, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand. So you're going to hear from witnesses today. If any of you ever need a break, please raise your hand. If I'm not able to see you, then either the deputies will see you, the prosecutor or the defense, and they will let me know. We want to make sure that you hear everything. So if at any time you cannot hear, please raise your hand and let us know that you cannot hear. And either I will see it, the state will see it, the defense or the deputies, okay? Hopefully everyone is comfortable. If you need a drink of water or something, just let us know. Okay. I'm going to turn it over to the state. And if the defendant could please rise.
In the name and by authority of the state of Texas, the grand jury of Bexar County, state of Texas, duly organized, impaneled and sworn as such at the May term AD 2019 of the 226th Judicial District Court of said county in said court at, at said term, do present in and to said court that in the county and state aforesaid and anterior to the presentment of this indictment on or about the 27th day of April 2019, Kevin Debnav Jr., hereinafter referred to as defendant, did use and exhibit a deadly weapon, namely a firearm, and defendant did intentionally, knowingly threaten imminent bodily injury to Michael Cruz, hereinafter referred to as complainant, by shooting at and in the direction of the complainant with said deadly weapon against the peace and dignity of the state, signed foreman of the grand jury.
Mr. Debnav, to that, how do you plead?
Not guilty.
All right, thank you. You may be seated. State, do you have opening statements?
Yes, Judge.
All right, you may proceed.
Thank you. Around 11 p.m. at 9602 Hillsborough Drive. That's over on the northwest side of, or sorry, northeast side of San Antonio. It's April 27, 2019. It's a busy night. A couple things were going on. It's Fiesta. I remember Fiesta. And it was game 7 of the NBA playoffs. The Spurs were playing the Nuggets. It was a dark night. And it was dark for a few reasons. At 9602 Hillsborough Drive, one, it was 11 o'clock p.m. The other reason was because the front driveway light wasn't working at the time. So you're gonna hear testimony from today from the complainant. He's gonna tell you about how he was watching the Spurs game. He gets up to leave because the game's about to be over, it's fiesta, and he's a part-time Uber driver. So he goes out to his car, it's dark, the window's in it, and he goes to take the car seat out of the back because he has a young kid, so he needs to take it out before he Uber. When he opens the door to take the car seat out, he finds the individual inside of his vehicle wearing all black and a backpack. He's surprised. So he's like, who are you? What are you doing in my car? He runs around to the other side of the car and he pulls the individual out. He's going to testify that that individual was the defendant in this case. So the two of them, they began fighting. At some point, our complainant, Michael Cruz, he gets behind the defendant and he has him in a headlock. He's going to testify that out of nowhere, the defendant pulls out a gun, reaches back and points it for him, shooting, and it goes off in his ear. You're going to hear testimony from Michael's wife, Jacqueline Cruz. She's going to testify that she heard the gunshot, she heard the scuffling, and so she ran outside to see what was going on. When she got outside, her husband was saying, get through, that's his brother, William Mitchell, and you're going to hear from him too. He's going to tell you that when he got outside, he saw the two of them fighting. They were on the ground, and Michael was saying, he has a gun. So he goes and jumps on him and tries to help out to get the gun away from him. As he's trying to get the gun away from the defendant, he feels something in his leg. He feels it like liquid moisture running down his leg. And so he moves his leg and you realize he's been stabbed. He looks at the defendant's hand, he sees a knife in his hand. At this point, the neighbors who also heard the gunshot, two gunshots, they come outside. Initially, he couldn't see anything because it's dark, so he goes back in, he gets his shoes, he gets his flashlight, and he comes outside and he sees the defendant, Michael, and Drew on the ground. And they're yelling, he has a gun, he has a gun. So he runs over, he steps on the defendant's hand, defendant's right hand, and he takes the gun away from him. He then takes the gun to his porch, and they hold the defendant down and cut off the garage. So you're gonna hear from those witnesses, you're gonna hear from Michael Cruz, you're gonna hear from his wife, Jacqueline Cruz, the brother, William Mitchell, and the neighbor, Michael Tobar. You're also gonna hear from the officers who arrived on the scene. They're gonna tell you how the defendant was dressed, what he had on his person, the things they found in his belongings. You're gonna hear from a couple of CSI people who collected evidence. You're gonna hear from detectives who investigated. One particular detective is Detective Alvarez. He's gonna tell you about his interview with the defendant and what he said. And you're gonna surprisingly, or not surprisingly, find out that the defendant's version of what happened is very different than what every single witness testified to. And also it's inconsistent with what the evidence will show you. You're gonna find out, you're gonna hear about where the gun came from. And we're gonna bring all those exhibits to you, so you'll have what you can take back there. So at the end of this trial, we're gonna ask that you find the only verdict that you can based on the evidence that's presented. And that's in the law that's presented. We're gonna ask that you find him guilty, hold him accountable for his actions. Thank you.
All right, defense.
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, I'm glad that the prosecutor recognizes that my client's testimony will be a little bit different than some of these other witnesses. You can say, walking down the street on Hillsborough, that he had got a couple of beers at a local convenience store. That he had missed his last bus, so he had to wait another hour or so for the next bus to come by. They don't come by very often in the middle of the night. That he was drunk one beer and he was getting ready to drink the other beer, but he had it in his backpack and had the backpack on his shoulder. And as he's walking along, he hears somebody call to him. And they used something of a pejorative. He turns around and then he's attacked by Mr. Cruz. Mr. Cruz currently is choking him. He has a gun in his hand. He tries to use it on my client. He's from reaching from behind, trying to use the gun. And the gun goes off, and the gun hits my client in the teeth. He can tell you that he indeed had an injury to his teeth. Then the other gentleman came out, Mr. Mitchell. They're both attacking him, holding him down. Some of the witnesses said, well, it looked like they were doing CPR on him. Well, they were not doing CPR. They were beating him up. The gun was there on the ground. The client did not have or use the gun. We're going to ask you to find him not guilty.
All right, state, call your first witness.
The state calls Michael Cruz.
All right, Mr. Cruz, if you'll take a seat here, please. Mr. Cruz, if you could raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you'll give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes, ma'am. All right, you can have a seat. And could you make sure you speak up, but don't touch the microphones because they've already been adjusted.
Okay.
But if you could state your name for the record and spell it, please.
Michael Cruz, Michaelcrews.
State.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Cruz. Sorry. How long have you lived in San Antonio?
About 15 years.
Okay. Where are you from originally?
I was born in California.
Where do you currently reside?
9602 Hillsborough Drive.
Is that in San Antonio?
Yes, sir.
In Bexar County, Texas?
Yes, sir.
How long have you lived there?
3 years.
What do you do for a living?
Right now, I'm a painter.
Do you have any other part-time jobs?
I do Uber on the weekends.
Do you do them? I guess how often do you Uber?
On the weekends when I need the money, pretty much part-time.
Do you remember a night that an incident took place at your residence, April 27, 2019?
Yes, sir.
What were you doing that night?
I just got home from a birthday party, rushing home to watch the Spurs game. And we watched the Spurs game. Can we tell you about everything?
Well, who do you live with at 9602?
I live with my wife, and at the time, my brother was there, and my 5-year-old son.
Okay.
Living there.
And so you were watching the Spurs game at home, or were you watching it out somewhere?
I was at home watching it.
You mentioned that you came back from a birthday party.
Yes, sir.
Why did you mention that?
Oh, that's just where I came from to when I got home. That was the final spot I came back from, the birthday party.
When you got home, was the Spurs game already playing?
Yes. Yeah.
Were you in a rush to see it?
Yes, sir.
So you're watching the Spurs game, and then do you watch the entire game?
Yes, sir.
At some point, do you leave your house?
At the end of the game when we lost.
Okay. What were you leaving your house to do?
I was going to go to Uber.
Do you remember around what time that was?
I think it was like 10:30, maybe 11, somewhere in that area.
And so because you were going to go Uber, what did you go outside to do?
I went out there to take my son's car seat out of the back seat of my Jeep because they can't have the car seat in there with doing Uber. So I went there to take it out to take it in the house.
Where do you keep your car seat at? Is it like on a certain side or is it in the
It's in the back seat on the passenger side.
Okay. Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
Yes.
Mr. Cruz, I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Can you tell me if you recognize those?
Yes, sir.
Are they a fair and accurate depiction of what they pertain to be?
Yes, sir. That's my address and where I live.
Okay. So State's Exhibit 1 is a map of your address?
Yes, sir.
And State's Exhibit 2, 3, and 4, are they Google Map photos of your home?
Yes, sir.
And you said they are fair and accurate depictions?
Yes, sir.
All right, at this time, the state offers State's Exhibit 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Any objections from the defense?
Just a moment, please, Your Honor. No objection, Your Honor.
All right, State's exhibits numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4 are admitted into evidence.
Thank you. Mr. Cruz,
Yes, sir.
where is your house located on Hillsborough Drive? Is it towards an end or is it in the center?
It's almost in the center of the block.
Okay. What's the nearest major street to you?
Right behind us is Pure and Bridal.
And about how, do you know about how many houses there are?
On that block, there's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, maybe 7, all the way down.
And I want to show you what's marked as. State's Exhibit 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Can you look at those and tell me if you recognize it?
Yes, sir. These are like photos of the night that happened in my house, my brother's car, my Jeep, the Jeep that, yep, that he was sitting in. That's the passenger with the car seat and all that. Yes,
And
sir.
so are those pictures fair and accurate depictions from that night?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They sure are. Yes, sir. Every one of them.
And at the Sun State Office, State's Exhibit 5 through 12.
Any objections?
No objection, Your Honor.
State's exhibits 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 are admitted.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Cruz, how long, I guess, how many cars can you fit in your driveway?
2.
And is your driveway, what we're saying, State's Exhibit 3?
Yes, sir.
On that night, April 27, 2019, how many cars were parked in your driveway?
2.
What 2 cars?
I believe me and my brother's car, William.
Which car was parked in front?
I think I was parked behind him, I believe. Yes, that's his car, is the white car. Mine was the Jeep.
So his car is the white car that's closest to your house.
Yes,
Your
sir.
car is the Jeep that's behind it.
Yes, sir.
Which side of your Jeep did you enter when you went to take out the car seat?
The back passenger side.
And is that
Yes,
State's
sir.
Exhibit 9
Yes, sir.
and 10?
Yes, sir.
And is that the car seat in State's Exhibit 9 and 10?
Yes, sir.
So you go to your car, you open the door, the passenger side back door. And where was the individual sitting in the car?
In the back seat, next to the car seat, behind the driver's
Okay.
side.
And so what did you do then?
I immediately got a shock reaction because I didn't know he was sitting in the car. My lights come on like a dimmer light. And immediately, once I realized he was in the car, I ran around to the other side. I opened his car door, pulled him out, and right there we started fighting. And that's when all this stuff started happening after that. We started fighting. It was dark outside. Our porch light did not work. So it was nothing but pitch black. We started fighting. Then I heard the gunshot, boom, and I realized.
Give me 1 second. Where were you when you heard the gunshot? Like how were y'all positioned?
I mean, we were arms linked probably. We were close enough to be swinging at each other.
Okay.
So we were pretty close. And I didn't see a gun because it was so dark. I just heard the gun. So I immediately knew he had a gun. I went to go for his hand so he can control the arm, so he couldn't point it at me. I slammed him on the ground and started hitting him to get the gun away. And eventually the gun got taken away.
So based on the gunshot and what you heard, you said you didn't see it, but could you tell how close it was to you?
Yes, it was pretty loud. Yeah. So I knew that he had the gun.
And where did it go out? Did it go off next to a particular part of your body?
Close to my head area. Close to my head area, yeah.
And so then you, I guess, engaged with him?
Yes, I knew he had the gun, so I had to get close to him because I didn't want to shoot me. So I grabbed his hand, wrestled him down to the ground. I think that's when he fired again, trying to get away from me. And eventually we got the gun. My wife and brother had came out.
What's your wife's name?
Jacqueline Cruz.
Jacqueline Cruz?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and so Jacqueline came out and what did she do?
She saw us fighting on the ground, and I immediately told her, go get my brother, go get my brother.
Who's your brother?
My brother, William Mitchell. Okay. He was in the house. We were watching the Spurs game together, so he was in the house.
Sorry, Mr. Chris, let me have you slow down just a little bit. The court reporter has to take everything down.
Okay.
And I want to make sure the jury understands.
Okay.
So you said your wife came out, she saw y'all fighting.
Yes.
And then you told her to go get Drew, your brother?
Yes, I started screaming, get Drew, get Drew.
Okay, did she do that?
Yes, she did.
Did Drew come outside?
Yes, he did.
So where were you when Drew came outside?
I was on top of him, holding him down. I think maybe I had him in a chokehold, I'm not sure, but I was on top of him, still wrestling with him.
Okay. What did Drew do when he got outside?
He jumped on the guy too, to help hold him down.
And so were y'all on the ground at this time?
Yes, sir. All three of us.
Okay. What happened next after you and Drew were on top of?
I was holding him down. Next thing I know, I heard my brother scream. He stabbed me. He stabbed me. So then I guess we figured he had a knife too. And we got that from him too.
Did you see the knife in his hand?
I didn't see the knife in his hand until after everything was done. The scuffle was over.
Okay. And so where did he stab your brother?
The leg and in the hand.
Did he do anything else to your brother?
I think he bit him. He said he bit him on the hand after we took the knife.
Did anyone else get involved in the scuffle?
Not in the scuffle part, no. I think my wife may have moved the knife away or something, but she wasn't involved in the fight.
At some point, did your neighbor come outside?
Yes, yes.
Do you know your neighbor's name?
Michael.
Do you know his last name?
Turbet or something like that. I'm not sure. We didn't talk too much.
Okay, so y'all weren't friends?
No, not really. We just said hi to each other.
Had y'all ever had a conversation before that night?
Maybe about tattoos. He was a tattoo artist, but nothing really.
But y'all never hung out together?
No.
Okay. No. So Michael comes out. What did he do?
He came out because I was after the gunshots, and I think he had a gun in his hand because he didn't know what was going on. And I told him, this guy right here is trying to break in my car. Call the cops. Call the cops. And I think his wife came out, and somebody called the cops, and they would just kind of just watch what's going on, the scuffling.
And so I want to go back to the gunshot. You said it was dark outside, right?
Yes, sir.
So did you see like the muzzle flash, the gunfire?
No, I didn't. I just heard it.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And you said how far was he from you?
It was pretty close because it was loud. We were fighting each other, so we were pretty close to each other.
The individual that you saw inside your vehicle, who you pulled out and fired a shot at you, do you see him in the courtroom today?
Yes, sir.
Could you identify him by an article of clothing that he's wearing?
Yes, sir.
What?
The plaid shirt, dress-up shirt.
Let the record reflect that the witness has identified the defendant. Pass the witness.
Defense.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Cruz.
Yes, sir.
My name's John Young. Is your car normally parked in the driveway?
Yes, sir.
What kind of car is that, by the way?
It's a Grand Jeep Cherokee.
And that was the white car?
No, sir. It was the dark blue car.
Dark blue. Okay. Now, you said you came out
Yes, sir.
and you were going to go work as an Uber driver.
Yes, sir.
Do Uber drivers have any kind of decal that they put on the car?
They do. They'll send you one if you want one.
Do you have one on yours?
No.
No. Do you carry any weapons with you when you're driving as an Uber driver?
No. Uber does not let you carry any weapons with you. It's against their policy.
Okay.
I did not have a weapon.
But when you went out, you said that this individual was sitting in the car.
Yes, sir.
And do you remember the police checking that car for fingerprints?
I'm sure they did. There was a lot going on when the cops got there. They actually took me downtown that night from what was going on.
I'm sorry, say it again.
There's a lot going on. When the police arrived there, they took my report and then they took me from the scene of the crime downtown.
Now, I'm not clear, but did you say that you saw a gun?
I heard the gun shot while we were fighting.
Okay, but you didn't see the gun.
No, not until after we took the gun from him.
Okay. So you never saw Mr. Debnav with a gun?
Not till, no.
And have you ever been in the military?
No, sir.
Have you ever been, gone out hunting?
No, sir.
Have you ever used a gun?
Oh, yes, I've been to a shooting range.
Okay. Have you ever shot a gun at night?
No, I've never been to a shooting range at night.
Okay. Now you're in physical contact with Mr. Debnav when these gunshots are heard by you.
Yeah, we're pretty close. We're scuffling right outside the car.
Say it again.
Yes, sir. We were pretty close to each other.
And when you were grappling with Mr. Debnav and you heard this gunshot, which direction were you and he facing relative to the passenger side of your car?
We were on the side of the car where I pulled him out, and I was facing towards the house and he was facing towards me when we started fighting.
So we're looking at the rear passenger door to that car.
Okay.
Yes?
Yes.
And you said you did not see a muzzle flash.
I didn't see the flash.
All right. Did you sustain any gunshot wounds?
No.
Did you sustain any what I would refer to as gunshot residue or hot gases on you?
No, no.
Just 1 second, Your Honor. Now, what time did you say the game ended that night?
Maybe 10:30, 11, not quite sure.
Okay. Had you been drinking that night?
No.
Do you
No, 'cause
drink
I was-
alcohol?
Excuse me?
Do you drink alcohol?
Very rarely, not much, no. And especially that night, I'm fixing to go do Uber, you know, I wasn't gonna drink before I go do Uber.
That'd be a little dumb, wouldn't it?
Yes, sir.
Have you used marijuana?
Maybe as a child.
Objection, relevance.
Overrule.
Pardon?
Maybe as a
Your
child.
answer?
Talking to me?
What was your answer?
Maybe as a child, a long time ago. Definitely not in anytime recently.
Okay. But you were charged at one point with possessing
Objection, Your
marijuana
Honor.
here in Bear County, weren't you?
That'll be sustained.
Judge, the state would move to have it stricken.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you're to disregard. Defense, your next question.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Any other questions, defense?
No other questions, Your Honor. I'm sorry, I was thinking.
No problem. State,
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Cruz, do you own a handgun?
Yes, sir.
Did you own one at the time?
Yes, sir.
What kind of handgun did you own?
I owned a Ruger 9mm.
Where was that handgun on this occasion?
Probably up on top of my closet in the house, where it's at now.
And on that night, you mentioned that you were taken down to give a statement.
Yes, sir.
Was that at the SAPD headquarters?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
yes.
I'm showing you what's marked as State's Exhibit A. Is this your handwriting on State's Exhibit A?
Yes, sir.
And then page 2. Is that the statement from that night?
Yes, sir.
And did you sign it at the bottom?
Yes, sir.
You can use this to refresh your memory.
Okay.
You gave that statement pretty much right after everything happened, right?
Yes, sir. They took me right downtown.
Would your memory have been better then or now, almost 3 years later?
Well, probably then, but I still remember most of it.
Okay.
That night, what happened?
Can you look at your statement to refresh your memory on where you were in position to the defendant when the shot was fired?
It says that we were just standing right next to the.
Your Honor, I would ask that he not read from the statement. If it refreshes his recollection, he can testify.
All right, that'll be sustained. Mr. Cruz, you're not allowed to read
Okay.
directly from the statement.
Okay.
You are allowed to review it.
Okay. What was the question, sir?
Where were you in position in relation to the defendant?
I was standing right in front of him.
Okay. Is that what you said in your statement?
I believe so.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
Your
Yes.
Honor, I would object. The witness has indicated that it has not refreshed his recollection, and we would object to any further testimony on that issue.
All right, Mr. Cruz, does that refresh your recollection? Yes or no?
I wanted you to take a minute to read it before you answer.
Okay.
Mr. Cruz,
Yes,
you had a
ma'am.
chance to review the statement?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. State, ask your question.
Mr. Cruz, did you read the statement in its entirety?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So where did you say that you were in?
Your Honor, it does not, he has not stated whether it has refreshed his recollection or not.
All right. State,
Now that you've read the statement, is your memory refreshed?
Yes, sir.
Where were you in relation to the defendant when you fired the shot?
Does that mean where was I standing at?
Yes, sir.
I was standing probably arm's length, 4 or 5 feet. And I think he was kind of hunched over, looking back at me like this.
At any point, did you have him in a headlock?
Yes.
Okay. When you had him in a headlock, is that when you fired the shot at
I
you?
believe so. I believe so.
Is that what you said in your statement from
Yes,
that
sir.
night?
Yes, sir.
And did you hear the gunshot go off near your head?
Yes, sir.
Was it your impression that he fired the gun back behind him towards you?
Yes,
Your
sir.
Honor, I would object to opinion testimony.
That will be overruled.
Mr. Cruz, you said you're familiar with firearms.
Yes, sir.
Are they capable of inflicting imminent bodily injury?
Oh, yes.
Were you concerned that he would inflict imminent bodily injury?
Yes, sir. As soon as the first gunshot went off, that's when I knew this wasn't a fight no more. That he had pulled out a weapon.
Were you scared at the time?
Yeah, I would say so. When I heard the shot, I was like, oh, it was like I said, it was dark out there. So I didn't know what was coming next. So I immediately went for his arm.
Were you prepared to let him shoot you that night?
No, I didn't want, no.
Did you have any weapons on you at the time?
No, sir, I didn't have anything, not even a phone or a wallet, nothing.
Pass the witness, Judge.
Right. Defense?
Mr. Cruz,
Yes, sir.
you were going out to take your car and pick up passengers as an Uber driver, and you didn't have your wallet or your phone with you?
I was only going out to get my car seat out of the car to return it inside the house.
Okay.
And then I was gonna get the rest of my stuff and go Uber all night.
Because you'd obviously have a phone and you'd have your wallet with your driver's license in it if you were going out to drive.
Yeah, I wasn't leaving at the time. I was only getting the car seat out of the car to get ready to leave.
Okay. Now, you said the game was over, right?
Yes.
How long would it take you to get to the AT&T Center?
Objection, relevance.
Overruled. You may answer.
I wasn't going to the AT&T Center. When you do Uber, you just turn your app on and you can start doing Uber from your own front yard. I didn't go down to the AT&T Center to pick anybody up.
Okay, but you waited until the game was over, right?
Because I was watching the game.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Where were you expecting to pick up passengers, if not from the basketball game?
Anywhere. You just turn your Uber app on, you can get a call from anybody. Could be your next door neighbor.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
State?
No further questions, Judge.
Right, is this witness subject for recall or can he be excused?
And not subject from the state.
Not from the defense.
All right, Mr. Cruz, you're excused. Has anyone invoked the rule or intend to invoke the rule?
Defense would invoke the rule, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Cruz, the rule has been invoked. What that means is you cannot discuss your testimony with anyone. The only persons you can speak to are attorneys for the state or attorneys for the defense. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you're excused.
All right, thank you.
State, call your next witness.
The state calls Jacqueline Cruz.
Ms. Cruz, if you'll take a seat up here, please. And if you could not touch the microphones. Okay. Could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can have a seat. And if you could state your name for the record and spell it, please.
It's Jacqueline Cruz. Do you want my middle name? Just the first and last.
Yes.
Your Honor, could I ask that you speak a little closer to the microphone?
I'm sorry. It's Jacqueline Ashley Cruz. It's JACQUELYN. Ashley is ASHLEY. Cruz CREWS.
All right, and if you could make sure that you speak up so that the members of the jury and the defense and state can hear you. Okay, state.
Thank you, Judge. Mrs. Cruz, do you reside here in San Antonio?
I do.
What address do you live at?
9602 Hillsborough Drive, and that's a 78217.
And how long have you lived there?
About 3 years.
Is your husband Michael Cruz?
Yes.
Back in 2019, who all was living at that residence?
It was me, my husband, my son, and my brother-in-law.
How old was your son at the time?
He was 3 or 4. He was young.
And then you just had another kid, right?
Yes, I just had a baby on the 2nd.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
So on that night, you said it was your husband, you, your brother-in-law Drew, and your son that lived in the residence.
Yes.
Do you remember what y'all were doing the night of the shooting, April 27, 2019?
We were watching the Spurs game, and my husband decided that he was going to go out and Uber after the Spurs game.
Okay. Where were you at when your husband decided to go out?
Laying in bed with my son.
What's the next thing? So did you watch your husband go outside?
No, we were laying in the bed, me and my son, in the back room.
Okay. So what was the next thing that came to your attention? Like
The 2 gunshots. I just heard a pow pow, and it sounded like super close to my house. So I ran outside.
When you went outside, what did you see?
I heard the scuffling on the side of my brother-in-law's car. So I ran over to see what was going on. And I see my husband holding down this gentleman on the ground. And my husband was screaming, "Go get Drew, go get Drew."
Could you see what the man that your husband was holding down, what was he wearing?
I just seen a lot of dark clothes.
Okay. So when your husband yelled, "Go get Drew," what did you do?
I ran in the house and called my brother-in-law to come outside and grabbed my phone to call 911.
What was Drew doing at the time?
I think he was in his room. I think he was just chilling in his room.
And you said that you called 911?
Yes.
Were you afraid at that time?
I was very scared.
When it happened, I guess when you made the call to 911, was it at or near the time that everything was going on?
Yes, it had to be like right after Drew ran outside.
Okay, so would you say it was within minutes?
Yeah, within minutes.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
Yes.
Actually, what's marked as State's Exhibit 13. Do you recognize your signature on that?
Yes, I do.
And what is State's Exhibit 13?
All audio.
Okay, did you listen to this 911 audio?
I did.
And was it a true and accurate copy of the audio from that night?
Yes.
Had it been altered or changed in any way?
No, I believe so.
Your Honor, at this time, the State offers State's Exhibit 13.
Any objections?
Your Honor, defense objects, hearsay.
All right, the court has not heard the 911 call. So is that the 911 call is State's Exhibit number 13?
Yeah, that is what I'm objecting to. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you will step out for a moment. You have heard some evidence in this case, but you're not allowed to deliberate or discuss anything that you've heard amongst yourself or with anyone else. When it is time for you to deliberate, the court will let you know when that time is. So I'm going to give you all a 15-minute break, okay? All right, everyone, please rise for the jury. All right, everyone, please be seated. Ms. Cruz. The rule has been invoked. So what that means is you're not allowed to discuss your testimony with anyone except for attorneys for the state and attorneys for the defense. You understand? All right. So if you want to step out and take a short break, you can take a short break as well. And if I could see State's Exhibit number 13, I'll go in the back and review that. And everyone, the court is going to be in a short recess. So everyone, please remember we are still live. So just make sure your microphones are muted. Otherwise, what is being said will be heard. Is there any other 911 or anything I have to list? Just this?
Just
one?
hers.
Okay.
What, you mean for the case, for our case in chief?
Yes, if there's something else that's going to be admitted, I can look at it over, listen to it over lunch break. Is that if there's going to be objections, but for this one, I'll listen to this now. This is the only one before the break.
That's the point. Judge.
All right, let me just listen to this real quick. Hi, Juanita. All right, we're back on the record. We're outside the jury's presence. In 2019 CR 6484, defense had objected to hearsay with regards to state's exhibit number 13 that was offered. That objection will be overruled. Anything else from the defense with regards to the admission of state's exhibit number 13?
Jonathan, the young woman makes on that statement a very emotional description of what she believed happened. But she already told us, she'd already heard the shots. So she truly is not a witness to that, but she said her husband had been shot at. Apparently there had already been some action and the gun was obtained by someone else. But she's making a lot of statements that she has no basis for saying. She wasn't there. They have to be hearsay.
All right, state.
Judge, I mean, it's just, I guess I don't really understand the objection because what he said wasn't a hearsay objection, but if he is objecting to hearsay, our response to that is really an excited utterance. You can tell by the way that she's panting and breathing in the video. Additionally, she testified that she says in the call that everything's going on right then, or it had just happened right before, and so it would also fall under the presence and suppression exception to hearsay. Lastly, we just point out case law, Davis v. Washington, that talks about the confrontation clause and hearsay. And the case I described 47, US 813, and essentially the court is just saying that 911 calls by their nature, when they're made at the time of the event, aren't testimonial and they aren't hearsay because of the importance of it.
Any other further response, defense?
Your Honor, if it's not testimonial, I don't know why would you, then it's irrelevant.
All right, the objection to state's exhibit number 13 will be overruled. It will be admitted and the court will admit it in the presence of the jury. And could you bring the jury in, please? Okay, thank you. Thank you. Yes.
All right.
All right, if everyone can please be seated. All right, where we stopped, states you were offering into evidence states exhibit number 13, is that correct?
Yes, Judge.
All right, states exhibit number 13 then is admitted.
Judge, may I play it for the jury?
Yes.
No, don't let him go. I need a police. Right now, I have somebody in my front yard. They were trying to, I don't know what they were trying to do, break into my husband's car or something. What's the address? 9602 Hillsborough Drive. drive. Okay, are there any weapons involved? Yes, they shot at my husband. He shot at my husband. Okay, did he hit your husband? No. Your husband was not hit. He shot my brother-in-law. Yeah, okay. What the fuck? You guys go inside me. Go inside me. What's up? How many shots? Two shots. Okay. Stay with your friends. Okay, they're heading out. They're heading down. Okay. Stay on the line with me. What is your name? What is your name? My name is Jackie. Jackie what? Juggling Cruz. And do you have the people there? My husband and my brother-in-law are holding him down on the ground. He was sitting in our car. And my husband. Okay. Is he black, white, or Hispanic now? Black. Black now. What is he wearing? I don't know. They're both laying on top of him. He had a knife and a gun. He tried to. Please hurry. Yeah, they're heading out there, okay? So nobody's hurt you on any of this, right? My brother-in-law is stabbed. He stabbed my brother-in-law. I don't know if my husband's okay. It's like my bed. I'm sending EMS out there too, okay? Yeah. What is your husband's name? He's a gun. My husband's name is Mike. Where's the gun right now? My neighbor has it. He just found it on loose ground. Your husband's name is Mike Cruz? Yes. What's your brother-in-law's name? Andrew Mitchell. Hold on, baby. Stay right there. It's okay. It's okay. Suspect is still on the ground? Yes, he's still on the ground. They're holding him down. But he's trying to get up. Where's the knife? I have it. They're on their way out there, okay? I guess my husband's coming outside to leave to go Uber. And I guess this guy was shooting in his car. So I was laying in the bed and I heard two bed shots and I ran outside. So he was trying to break into the car? He was in our car. Okay. They're coming. They're on the way. And so he shot the two rounds in your head and then stabbed your brother-in-law? Yes. Where is he? I think the leg. And then your brother-in-law is on top of the individual? Yes, they both are. It's the 9602 Hillsborough Drive. I have the female on the line. Her brother-in-law was stabbed in the leg. It started off as a shooting in progress and then he was stabbed.
Okay. Listen, we got help on the way. Are you next to the person who got stabbed?
Yes. He's right here.
Okay, put pressure with something clean. A towel or a shirt.
Let me go.
He's awake and breathing?
Yes. They're both holding the guy down on the ground.
All right.
I gave you something.
Continue to hold pressure until we get there, okay?
Okay.
If he passes out or stops breathing before we get there, just call us back. Police, fire, and EMS are on the way.
Okay.
I'm still on the line with you, okay?
Okay.
They should be pulling up here any moment. They're all terrified already.
They're
They're a few blocks away. They're pulling up. Gary, just a few moments. Okay?
He said they're about to pull us right now. Yeah, they're coming. They're gonna be here. He's here.
All right, right, where's he at now?
He's still on the ground. Anyway,
Breathing?
yes, he's breathing. He's just stabbed in the leg.
Okay, just continue to hold pressure until we get there.
He's holding the guy down. He won't hold that. He's right around his leg. There he is, right here.
All right, I'm gonna hang up now.
Okay.
Yeah, the officers are there.
Mrs. Cruz, how many gunshots did you hear before you went outside?
2.
And at the point that you went outside, was it just your husband and the defendant outside?
Yes.
So did Drew go outside before or after the gunshots were fired?
It was after.
And did the defendant still have the gun in his possession while you were on the 911 call?
I don't think he had it. I think it was on the ground. My husband was holding him down, so I'm assuming the gun was already on the ground.
Okay. Could you see the gun from where you were at?
I couldn't see anything. It was really dark.
And you said at some point your neighbor got involved?
Yes, he grabbed the gun from off the ground and put it on his porch to get it away from the guy.
I believe at the beginning you testified that you just had your baby a few days ago.
Yes,
Was it important for you to be here today?
yes, it was.
How come?
Well, mainly because justice needs to be served for what he did. And
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I could not understand the witness.
All right, could you make sure you speak up, please?
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
I feel like justice needs to be served. I don't think that it has been. The fact that I still live in that same house now has me kind of worried. I've already told my husband I kind of want to move because
Your Honor, I object, irrelevant.
Sustain.
you'd never.
Excuse me. Once I make a ruling, I'll let you know if you can continue speaking after that, but I sustain his objection, which means that you can no longer answer that question.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
Judge, we'll pass the witness.
All right, defense.
Thank you, Your Honor. Okay, Mrs. Cruz. When you first came outside the house, what did you see?
When I originally came out my front door, I saw nothing. I heard scuffling on the side of the car, on the opposite side of the car. And that's when I ran over there and seen my husband on the ground with this gentleman.
Okay, so the first thing you saw of this incident, you had come out of the house, you had gone around the car, and the two parties were on the ground.
Yes.
And you said you saw the gun on the ground?
I'm assuming it was on the ground. My husband's a pretty big guy. When he held the gentleman down, I'm sure he didn't have that gun still in his hand.
So you didn't see the gun?
Not until my neighbor picked it up to take it over to his porch.
And then you saw it?
Yes.
Okay. How far was the gun from your husband and Mr. Debnav?
While they were on the ground,
Yes.
maybe a foot away.
Okay. But you did see the neighbor pick up the gun from the ground?
I did.
Okay. Now, do you know what kind of gun your husband owns?
My husband doesn't own a gun. I have a gun.
You have the gun?
Yes, I own a gun.
Okay, what kind of gun do you own?
It's a Ruger, I believe. I got it for my birthday.
All right. And is it a 9mm?
I believe so. I don't know too much about guns.
Okay. And when you were on the 911 call, correct me if I'm wrong, but had you already told Drew to go outside when you got on 911?
Yes, I had already ran back in the house and screamed my brother-in-law's name to come outside. And that's when I grabbed my phone to call the police.
Where was your phone?
My phone, I couldn't recall exactly where it was, somewhere in my house.
Oh, did you have to go all the way back to the bedroom?
I think so, probably. because me and my son were laying down, so more than likely.
And you were telling the people on 911 that Drew had been stabbed.
Yes,
Did you go back outside with the phone?
yes, I was outside the entire time on the phone.
All right. So when did you start making the 911 call?
After I had grabbed my phone and went back outside.
Okay. And can you describe the light level, the illumination of this, I guess, tussle that was going on the ground?
It was pretty dark over there on that side of the house. My lamp outside was not working at the time. And I don't believe our neighbors was that bright. So you can't really see
What
too
was
much.
that last part?
And so the neighbor's lights on his house, I don't think were that bright as well. There was a little bit of light, but not a lot.
Okay. When this incident occurred, it was over 2 years ago, right?
Yes.
Were the trees in your front yard already cut down?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay. So one of them looked like a pretty big tree.
Yes, but it's on the opposite side. So if you're looking at my house, you have my front door and 2 trees, and then our driveway, and then where the incident happened.
And there were 2 cars in the driveway,
Yes,
and they were on the other side of the 2 cars.
yes.
Was there any damage to your car?
Not that I believe so. I don't think.
Was there anything missing from your car?
No, we had just found mail scattered in our front seat.
You
Like
had
someone
what?
had mail, like letters in the mailbox.
Mail.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they were
I
scattered in
thought
our
you
front
said
seat.
nails, and I couldn't figure out where that was coming from.
It's the mask.
Yes, that's where it's coming from. All right. Was there any money found in the area where this fight was going on?
I don't think so. I didn't hear anything about any money.
Now, you said when you were on the 911 call that you had the knife. Where did you get the knife from?
It was on the ground after the gentleman stabbed my brother-in-law. It was on the ground. So I took
Okay.
it so that nobody can get it.
All right. But did you see anybody stab your brother-in-law?
I didn't physically see any of that either.
But you found the knife on the ground near where they were fighting.
Yes, sir.
When you were out there, you said it was very dark where they were at.
Yes.
Now, was it adjacent to your car?
What do you mean?
Near car? No, was it next to your car?
Yeah, it was pretty close to it.
Okay. Was the door to the car open?
I don't think it was open when I got out there. I'm pretty sure it wasn't open when I got out there.
Okay.
I think the door that was open was the one that was closest to my front door, where my husband had opened the door to get the car seat out.
And you didn't see that either, did you?
The door open?
Yeah. Did
I
you
didn't see
your
him,
own-
no.
Did you see your husband open the door?
No.
I would have requested that hearsay be stricken, Your Honor.
So which reference are you?
She stated that her husband had opened the car door and looked in the car.
All right, state.
No objection, Judge.
All right, that'll be sustained. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you're to disregard that statement. All right, defense.
Because the door to the car was open on the house side, the dome light inside the car was on, wasn't it?
I don't remember. It could have been.
Okay. One moment, please, Your Honor. No further questions, Your Honor.
State.
Brief redirect. Mrs. Cruz, your husband testified that y'all had went to a birthday party earlier in the day. Did you go to that party with him?
Yes,
When y'all got back home from the birthday party, did y'all leave the door to your vehicle open?
we left it unlocked, but not open.
Oh, sorry. And you also mentioned that you found mail scattered in the front of your vehicle.
Like somebody had just thrown it up there.
Was it your mail?
Yes, it was our mail.
Had y'all left it like that?
No,
Where was it, over the driver's side seat, passenger, or both?
it was on the passenger seat and on the passenger floorboard.
Do you know where that mail came from? Like, did y'all have mail in your vehicle or? from your
Oh, no,
mailbox?
we didn't have any mail in the vehicle.
But it was your mail that was scattered.
Yes.
That's the witness, Judge.
Defense.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, is this witness subject for recall or may she be excused?
Excuse from the state.
Defense. Okay, this
No
witness be
objection, Your Honor.
excused or subject to recall.
I don't require her to be held, Your Honor.
The rule has been invoked. What that means is you cannot discuss your testimony with anyone. The only persons you can speak to are attorneys for the state and attorneys for the defense. All right, you're excused. State, call your next witness.
State calls William Mitchell.
All right, Mr. Mitchell, if you'll take a seat here, please. Would you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, if you could take a seat, remember to speak up, but don't touch the microphones. And if you could state your name for the record and spell it, please.
Yes, ma'am. William Mitchell, WILLIAM MITCHELL.
State.
Mr. Mitchell, what name do you go by?
I go by Drew. That's my nickname.
Is that your middle name?
Yes, sir.
Do you reside here in San Antonio?
Yes, sir. I live here.
Back on April 27, 2019, where did you live?
I lived at 9602 Hillsborough Drive.
Who did you live there with?
My brother, Michael Cruz.
And did his wife, Jacqueline Cruz, also live there?
Yes, sir.
What were y'all doing on April 27, 2019?
I was watching the Spurs game. They were in the playoffs, so it was a pretty big thing for me.
Are you a big Spurs fan?
Very big Spurs fan.
And so where were you watching it at?
I was watching it in my room. My brother was watching it as well in the living room, but he was getting ready to leave, so I just shifted to my room. I was getting ready to let the night die down, get ready to lay down and go to sleep.
Okay, so had you already gotten, I guess, out of whatever clothes you were wearing earlier?
Yeah, I was in night clothes at that point.
Did you already take off your shoes?
Yes.
So you're watching the game, and then what's the next thing you remember?
I remember getting called up to the front of the house. I just kept hearing my name over and over.
Could you hear who was calling your name?
Not really, just mostly just hearing my name, not really the person who's calling it.
Did you hear any gunshots?
I heard some loud noises and some like fighting outside, but I couldn't tell if it was a TV or if it was actually something going on outside because I was in my room.
So what did you do next?
Once I approached the front door, I kind of heard like everything surreal happen all at once. Like her voice sounded weird. She normally sounds pretty calm and relaxing, but it was like she was really scared of something.
Who is she?
Oh, Jacqueline.
Okay.
As she was saying my name, like it kind of seemed like she was fearing for something. So when I got to the front door, that's when she told me, "Hey, you need to help your brother. Help your brother. He's in serious duress and he needs help." And I said, "Okay, well, where's he at?" Well, where the Jeep is parked, you can't see him or what's going on. So I had to leave the front door and walk around to the driveway to see what was going on. And then from there, I had to jump right in.
So were you wearing shoes at that time?
No.
You ran outside barefoot?
Barefoot.
And so once you got around the corner, what did you see?
I saw my brother and another gentleman kind of tussling and wrestling, going at it. And
Do you see that gentleman here in the courtroom today?
yes, sir.
Can you point to him and identify an article of clothing that he's wearing?
It's this gentleman right here in the blue shirt.
I'll let the record reflect that the witness has identified the defendant. Do you recall what he was wearing that night?
No, sir.
Do you remember if it was light clothing or dark clothing?
Your Honor, object, asked and answered.
Overrule.
Do you remember if it was light clothing or dark clothing?
No, sir.
Okay. So you saw your brother and the defendant. Were they standing or were they on the ground at that point?
They were between, it looks like they were going to the ground. They were like wrestling, so it was hard to say if they were like, they weren't standing straight up.
What did you do?
I basically went and jumped directly on both of them. And we went to the ground. And from there, my sister-in-law, Jackie, was saying that he had a gun. So I was looking for a gun, but it was so dark, I couldn't see anything. But I was more focused with his hands. If you can focus on the hands, you can stop anything from getting toward you. So that was my main focus, was his hands.
Okay. And so could you see if anything was in his hands?
No, it was too dark.
And this whole time you're trying to find a gun or take a gun from him or control his hands?
Really, we were trying to hold him down because I didn't even know what was going on. All I know is that my brother was wrestling somebody. I didn't know if he had walked up and was trying something, or I didn't know anything. I was just trying to hold him down and to prevent anything from happening.
At some point during this, did you get injured?
Yes, I was stabbed in the leg. And then when I pulled the knife from his hand, he cut me again with the knife before I was able to get it from him. And then after I pulled the knife, he bit me in my hand as well.
Okay, I want to go over that a minute. So you were stabbed in the leg while you were on top of the defendant?
Yes, once I got on top of him, we wrestled him down. And like I said, I was trying to hold his arms down, but we didn't have control of his wrist or hands. So that's when I guess he reached back and was able to get my leg. And I let go of his right arm to get like a firm grip on his body. That way he couldn't squirm around or move around or anything like that.
Which leg did he stab you on?
My left upper, right above my knee.
And then you said you grabbed his hand and you pulled the knife from his hand?
Yeah, once I realized that my leg was, it honestly was wet. And I thought maybe I was in water or something. But once I realized that it was all blood, I reached down and I grabbed his wrist and I realized he had a knife in his hand. That's what cut my finger, my knuckle. And I reached down with the other hand and I kind of twisted it out of his hand. And once I did that, that's when he bit me.
Okay. And which hand did he bite you on?
He bit me in my right hand.
After he bit you and after you had gotten the knife from him, what happened next?
We held him down for about 20 minutes until the police showed up.
Do you remember or were you aware of your neighbor getting involved?
Yeah, he came out to get the weapon because we were still holding him down.
Which weapon?
The gun that he had shot off.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
Yes.
Let me show you what's marked as exhibit 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22. Can you tell me if you recognize those?
Yep. That's me. Yes, sir.
Are they fair and accurate depictions of that night, April 27, 2019?
Yes, sir.
And at this time, the state offers case exhibit 14 through 22.
Your Honor, we'd object on relevancy grounds. The allegation here does not include this alleged knife incident, and we would ask that these photos be excluded.
State? Judge, we would argue that they are contextual. This is all part of the same set of facts that we're alleging that the defendant committed. And so to leave them out would not give a full picture to the jury.
All right. Is that the only objection from the defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. States exhibits number 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22 is admitted.
Rachel, is this a picture of you from that night?
Yes, sir.
And State's Exhibit 15 is what I'm showing you. What about State's Exhibit 16, 17, 18, and 19? Are these injuries to your leg?
Yes, sir.
And so where did you say the injury to your leg was?
Right above my left knee.
And you also said that you ran out barefooted, correct?
Yes, sir.
Is that why you're not wearing any shoes in State's Exhibit 17?
Yes, sir.
And State's Exhibit 20, 21, 22, and 14, are these the injuries to your hand?
Yes, sir. To both hands.
And you said he stabbed, or
He
did
stabbed.
you or did you?
He stabbed my leg. He cut my hand when I reached for the knife, and then he bit my other hand.
Is there anything else that you remember about that?
I've never seen the guy before. It was pretty weird that had happened. I couldn't explain why it happened or what caused it to happen. My brother's a pretty nice guy. If you meet him in person,
Can I object?
Sustained.
Irrelevant.
Your neighbor, Michael Tovar, did you know him?
I've only met him once, only just a hi as a neighbor.
We'll pass the witness, Judge.
Right. Defense.
Thank you, Your Honor. Okay. You go by Drew?
Yes, sir.
Did you see anybody holding a gun other than Mr. Tovar?
No, sir.
Did you see the gun when you came out to the incident?
Did I see when I came out?
See a gun anytime before it was picked up?
No, sir.
You were looking at Mr. Debnav's hands, you said. Pardon me. And you didn't see any gun in his hands?
Walking up to him? No, I couldn't see anything walking up.
But you just jumped on the two of them?
Yes, sir.
This person that you jumped on there with your brother, was he wearing a backpack?
Yes, sir.
How was he wearing this backpack?
Over both of his arms.
Okay. And you came because your sister-in-law had come in and told you to come outside.
No, I heard my name being yelled, and that's why I came to the front door. And when I approached the front door, she told me what the situation, well, a little bit of the situation, and I kind of jumped in from there.
All right. And so your only understanding of what was going on was what your sister-in-law told you.
Yes, sir.
And no further questions, Your Honor.
All right, State.
No further questions, Judge.
All right, is this witness subject to recall or maybe he be excused?
Defense has no objection to excusing him, Your Honor.
State.
He may be excused, Judge.
All right. The rule has been invoked. What that means is you're not allowed to discuss your testimony with anyone. You're only allowed to speak to attorneys for the state and the defense. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you're excused. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take our lunch break. I do have other matters that are not related to this case because even though there's a trial going on, there are still other matters I have to take up with different cases in this court. You've heard some of the evidence. You are not allowed to talk to each other about the evidence that you've heard. You're not allowed to listen. I don't believe this will be anywhere, but if you happen to see anything about this case on the news, in social media, or in newspapers, you are to ignore it. Does everyone understand? Now, there are plenty of places around town that you can eat at. The cafeteria, my understanding is that they're back open, so you can go down to the cafeteria if you so choose, or you can walk around the Riverwalk and there are restaurants that are open. All right, could everyone please rise for the jury, please?
Could you tell us when we're coming back, Your Honor?
2. Are you okay? All right, I don't know who put the step there. I had no part of putting the step there. 2. Yes. All right, if everyone can please be seated. And everyone, we're going to stop live stream. We will be back at 1:30 with live stream to take up our other cases, and then we will start